Once upon a time, in a peaceful kingdom wrapped in soft white snow, a kind queen sat by her window sewing quietly. Snowflakes drifted gently from the sky. The world was calm and bright. Suddenly, the queen's needle slipped, and a tiny drop of red fell onto the white snow. She looked at the beautiful colors together and whispered,
"I wish I had a child, with skin as white as snow, lips as red as a rose, and hair as black as night."
And as the snow continued to fall, her wish slowly began to come true. Before long, the queen gave birth to a beautiful baby girl. Her skin was white like snow. Her lips were red like roses. Her hair was black like midnight. The king and queen named her Snow White. But sadly, not long after Snow White was born, the kind queen became very ill and passed away. The castle grew quiet with sorrow, and Snow White grew up without her mother's gentle warmth. After some time, the king married again. The new queen was very beautiful, but she cared greatly about being admired. She owned a magical mirror that always told the truth. Every day she asked,
"Mirror, mirror on the wall, who is the fairest of them all?"
and the mirror always replied,
"You are the fairest, my queen."
This answer made her very happy. As the years passed, Snow White grew into a gentle and lovely young girl. She had a warm smile, a kind heart, and a beauty that came from goodness. One morning, the queen asked her mirror the same question,
"Who is the fairest of them all?"
but this time, the mirror answered differently.
"You are beautiful, my queen. But Snow White is the fairest of them all."
The queen felt anger rise in her heart. She did not like this answer at all. The queen called the huntsman and ordered him to take Snow White into the forest and leave her there. The huntsman led Snow White deep into the woods. When Snow White realized what was happening, tears filled her eyes. She said softly,
"Please don't leave me here. I promise I will never come back."
The huntsman saw her kind heart and could not harm her, so he whispered,
"Run, dear child, and never return."
As fast as her feet could carry her. She walked for hours until the sun began to set. At last, she saw a tiny house hidden among the trees. Inside were 7 little chairs, 7 small plates, 7 tiny beds. Snow White was very tired and hungry. She took a small bite from each plate, a tiny sip from each cup, then lay down on the smallest bed and fell asleep. That night, the 7 dwarfs returned home from working in the mountains. They were surprised to find their food tasted, their cups empty, and someone sleeping in one of their beds. When they saw Snow White, they felt kindness instead of fear. They let her sleep peacefully. In the morning, Snow White woke up and saw the 7 dwarfs around her. She told them her whole story. The dwarfs felt sorry for her and said kindly,
You may stay with us, as long as you help keep our house tidy."
Snow White thanked them happily. For the first time in a long while, she felt safe. Before leaving for work each day, the dwarf warned her gently, "Do not open the door for strangers." Meanwhile, the queen asked her mirror again,
Who is the fairest of them all?
And the mirror replied, Snow White still lives. With the 7 dwarfs beyond the hills, the queen became very angry. She dressed as a kind old woman and went to the dwarf's house. She sold Snow White a pretty lace. As soon as Snow White tried it on, she became weak and fainted. When the dwarf returned, they quickly helped her. Snow White woke up and promised not to open the door again. But the queen returned once more, this time with a beautiful comb. Snow White admired it, and the old woman gently placed it in her hair. Again, Snow White fainted. And again, the dwarf arrived in time to save her. They warned her very seriously.
You must be very careful, Snow White. The danger is real and ever present.
The queen tried one last time. She carried a shiny red apple. She told Snow White that half of it was safe. Snow White believed her. She took one bite and fell into a deep magical sleep. When the dwarf came home, they were heartbroken. They gently placed Snow White in a glass bed, surrounded by flowers. One day, a kind prince passed through the forest. He saw Snow White sleeping and felt deep sadness in his heart. As the glass bed was lifted, a small piece of apple came free. Snow White slowly opened her eyes. She was awake. She was alive.
Come with me to my kingdom, my love.
The prince joyfully invited Snow White to his kingdom. Snow White accepted with a smile. They were soon married in a joyful celebration. The queen learned her lesson and never caused harm again. Snow White never forgot the 7 dwarfs, and they visited her often. And from that day forward, the kingdom was filled with kindness, love, and happiness. And they all lived happily ever after.